Alright, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, before we begin, we'd like to give all praise, all glory, all honor unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Ruach Kodash.
Double honors unto the apostles and elders of great milestone. As always, we like to say Shalom unto the elect.
Shalom.
Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. There's a couple of brothers here,
Mayasha Allah.
and Isaiah. And we want to get into today, right? Via using the context of the scriptures, we're going to prove that Noah was a prophet. Right? First scripture we have up here is Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter, reading at the 17th verse. Right? It says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel.
Right.
Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. Watchman.
Tasapa.
Yeah, Tasapa.
Sorry, Tazasapa. Right. From the Hebrew Strong 6822, to look out or about, to spy, to keep watch, to observe, to watch, right? To watch closely, right? Going to the Strong's definition, properly to lean forward, that is to peer into the distance, by implication to observe, await, behold, espy, look up, wait for, watch.
Right. So a watchman, prophet is the same thing, right? Right. So we look at a watchman. He gets, or he's stationed in a position in which he gets information received from both the inside of the city, as you can see, a great distance into the city, and the outside of the city, right? You could see who coming in and out of the city, right? And his purpose is to have that information to warn the people, either who outside of the city or inside the city, even nearby villages, a dangerous threat is approaching, because you could see it from afar off, right? Prophet similar to that, but more so on a spiritual sense, aka they get messages directly from the Lord to warn the people about impending danger, incoming doom, right? When they get these prophecies, which, they get Hosea 12 and verse 10.
Book of Hosea 12 and verse 10. I have also spoken by the prophets, and have multiplied visions and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets.
Right, right. So he's often spoken by the prophets. Right, the prophets is the mouthpiece of the Lord, right, and he's Salakia, right, and he gives these messages to the prophets via visions, dreams, similitudes. Right, sometimes an angel may come as that took place with Esdras, right, where the angel would have come to him, and he is at Esdras, the 5th chapter, where the angel came and comforted him. Right. Also with Daniel, an angel came to give Daniel the interpretation and understanding of the visions he was getting. So the Lord he used two methods to deal with Daniel. He gave him visions, right, and then he sent angels to explain the visions unto Daniel. Same thing with Esdras, right?
Yeah, I am come unto thee to show thee, to give thee all skill and wisdom and understanding.
Right.
You Gabriel that tell Daniel, roughly paraphrasing.
So what we understand by that is using that context, right, and then you could get a little bit more context you want to add here. Get Jeremiah 1 from, is it
4.
No.
5. Ordained thee a prophet.
Let's see. Right, read from 9.
From 9, Then Yahweh put forth his hand, Jeremiah 1 and 9.
Read 4 and 5, and then go down to 9.
Right, Jeremiah 1 from verse 4. Then the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations.
So you see here that God does make men prophets even from the womb, but what he does, ordain them and give them a certain task. So when you go into that word ordain, and you go to well, it says not Nathan, to give, put, set, to give, bestow, grant, permit, ascribe, employ. Right? To give the prophet a
Dedicate.
certain task. And they go to that task, 9 and 10 tells you the task.
Verse 9, then Yahweh put forth his hand and touched my mouth, and Yahweh said unto me, Behold, I have put my words in thy mouth.
Right?
See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms to root out and to pull down and to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant.
Right, so the prophet has come. So like to pull down nations and establish nations, as we see in Isaiah 62 and 6.
I've set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace. They that make mention of the Lord.
Keep not silent,
Silence,
till
right?
the Lord make what Jerusalem are praising the
Yeah,
Lord. So
right.
that's what the prophet's doing in this time. We see the building of Jerusalem. How do you say?
heralding the coming of the New
Exactly.
Jerusalem.
Right, heralding the coming of the New Jerusalem. Right, but aforetime, the prophets actually, prophesied the downfall of Jerusalem, and they herald the coming of other kingdoms, and they also prophesied the downfall of those other kingdoms as well. Right, to get Jeremiah 28 and 8.
Right, Jeremiah 28 and 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Right, so we get the.
I went into the word here, evil, goes into the word raiha, or rai, right? Bad, evil, disagreeable, malignant, unpleasant, evil, giving pain, unhappiness, misery, right? Let me see here. Right? In general, of persons, of thoughts, deeds, and actions, evil, distress, misery, injury, calamity, and even want to go into that word as well, pestilence in the Hebrew is daba, pestilence, plague, right? And from the Strong's, it's the same daba, H1696. Let's see. All right, there. Right? So something bad, right? They don't prophesy of pleasant things necessarily. Obviously, we had to say the pleasant things that come in, but usually when the prophets end up on the scene is always to speak the evil that the Lord is about to do. And Lord, a roll of a book was sent unto me, that Ezekiel 2 from verse 8, and it was written within and without. Yep, yeah, from 8. Nine, right? I'll read from verse 8. But thou, son of man, hear what I say unto thee. Be not thou rebellious like that rebellious house. Open thy mouth and eat that I give thee. And when I looked, behold, an hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. And he spread it before me, and it was written within and without, and there was written therein lamentation, mournings, and woe. Right? So we understand here is that the prophets is the spokesperson of the Lord, and usually when the prophets start to speak, most of the time is nothing good to say. Because what? Even the people at the nation of Israel knew this back in the day. They know when they saw prophets in town, they used to get bummy because they know this is what the prophet was accustomed to. They was accustomed to warning you of the dangers to come from Yahweh. Because what? That is Amos 3 and reading from verse 6. Shall a trumpet, Salah, right? Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people be not afraid? Because what? We understand a trumpet is a signal for warning, is a calamity, disaster is coming. So what is to alert the people to the coming danger, right? And in this case, the Lord trumpet is the prophets, and the danger we're going to see who bringing it. Shall there be evil in the city, and Yahweh had not done it? See what the note says here? Be afraid or run together. Right. And verse 7, surely Yahweh power will do nothing, but he revealed his secret unto his servants the prophets. So the evil that coming, the prophet's job is to warn you of it. It also tells you that any evil that is being done in the city, or aka amongst the people, it's the Lord that's responsible for it. And he also says what? He will not do anything, good or bad, but he revealed his secret unto his servants, the prophets. And when you read is Genesis 6, where I start the story with the flood, you see is does exactly that happen. The Lord saw the state of the world, and it repented him that it had no judgment. He had to bring calamity on the world for all the evils that he was so being done. And before he did it, he ordained a prophet, which is Noah, to warn the world of what it is he was planning to do. Right? If you could go ahead.
Or you read it in the GNT as well.
The GNT? Alright. Let's see.
I like how it would. If you read it in KJV, and you look as though the Lord ain't doing nothing except revealing his secrets, his servants, the prophets.
Right.
But when you read it in the GNT, it show you how it's supposed to be worded there, or how you could word it better.
Right.
Amos 3 and 7.
Oh, you're going to read the Amos?
Yeah.
Salaka, that is Genesis. Salaka. Amos. I'm read back from verse 6.
No, 7.
Alright. Right. Verse 7. The sovereign Yahweh never does anything without revealing his plan to his servants, the prophets.
Right.
Right.
He doesn't do anything. And if you go and do something good, the prophets know. If you go and do something bad, the prophets know. So then, question. Because if you ask a Christian this, was Noah a prophet? Or were they even prophets in the beginning? Because you ask a Christian who is a prophet, you can start to list the books of the Bible. If you fall under that, he's not a prophet. Right? That's how Christians move. Now if you read 1 Kings 18, I think from 1. Let me see, 1, 2.
They hid the prophets in the caves. Listen.
You just point out here that there's prophets in the book that aren't,
Talked about.
or mentioned, or they might not even have written books. There are prophets who in the book and write books, and some of the things they're writing them in here.
Yeah,
Right, so we get this and then we go to the account of Exodus, right? So it's like, I was prophesying and this, what you was talking about wasn't written about.
Right, because even we think about that as well, yeah, there's an example we could pull in the same book of Kings, or if not Kings, it would have been Samuel, when it would have explained.
Saul was among the prophets?
Not is that, it's that good one too, but even that is there I explain all the things Solomon was renowned for in his life,
Yeah.
and they said he wrote Salah.
1 Kings 4. Towards the end, and he wrote 2,000 Proverbs.
And all that as well, but it also said what, and all these acts and all the mighty things which he had done, are they not recorded in the book of Joshua? If I said that correct.
Yeah, get that, and then we go back to the first Kings.
Alright, yeah, let me see.
I think at the one time I did hear about the book of Joshua being
Sorry, sorry.
Yeah,
So like that the one I call with Solomon is really a thing, and I believe it's not, if it's not Joshua, it's Chronicles or Kings, sorry. It's not Joshua actually, it's Chronicles or Kings or one of that. Misspoke, right? I paraphrased that wrong. But the book of Joshua 10 and 13, and the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, and the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Joshua? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hasted not to go down about a whole day. 2 Samuel 1 and 18. Also he bade them teach the children of Judah the use of the bow. Behold, it is written in the book of Joshua.
Right, yeah, that year I come to remember with the book of Joshua. Teaching the children how to go to war.
Right. So that the whole point there. Because that was David speaking, right? After I believe it's Saul armor bearer who would have killed Saul, give David the account how he and his father and his best friend Jonathan would have fallen in battle and all these things, right? He'd have lament and mourn for Saul and all these things. So And we're not reading this to literally say and look for the book of Joshua because that book not canonical, right? The apostles and the elders at Great Millstone already went into them books and proved that them books it might have useful information maybe, but it not lining up with the doctrine. So we're not advising that they go and read them books. Why? Because they have been tainted. But they just to show you that them Christians, as the brother make the point here, they could think the only people who canonical in the Bible and the only prophets that have is the ones whose names written on these books were written. But are all these
Salak, yeah. Not to cut you off, so you try to tell the Christians about the Maccabees,
Yep.
Judas,
Yep.
additions to Esther,
Bellamy Dragon,
Bellamy,
Susanna.
yeah. Even if it might have the same names of the men and them, they may want to hear none of that because they're not a regular KJV.
Right.
Right, so that is what you're dealing with and what you're dealing with according to the Christians. These people have enough of our spiritual eye to see that even though it's written in the scriptures, the prophets will.
But world began that so actually 6:15.
Oh well, that one.
Oh, actually it's that one as well, yeah, but yeah, you can read that. Read
I'll
that.
this one. They Acts 3 and 21. It says.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Acts 3 and 21, it says, Whom the heaven must receive until the times of restitution of all things, which power had spoken by the mouth of all his prophets, of all his holy prophets, since the world began. So since the inception of the earth,
Right.
right, since the beginning of the earth, there have been prophets.
Yep.
What you're talking about. Just because everybody didn't have a book written, we're talking about them men was still prophets, right?
Precept, yeah.
But
So
they're called Sirach 36 and 15.
yeah.
You see what I see?
Yep.
Sirach 36 and verse 15. Give testimony unto those that thou hast possessed from the beginning, and raise up prophets that have been in thy name. Prophets, they were there since the beginning.
Right. Because what? Raise up prophets that have been in thy name. Spirit of the prophet, subject to the prophets, right? 1 Corinthians 14:2. Right? Understanding that if you believe in reincarnation, which you had to believe in reincarnation to believe in the Bible, Big Brother Kwana, these men who we reading about here, Noah, Adam, Abel, well, everybody, all these men who we reading about, these men of renown, are prophets today once they're here on the earth. Proof of that, the angel tell John that in is Revelation 10,
Revelation 10 and 11.
right?
And thou must bear witness to me again before many countries and before many tongues and etc. etc.
Yeah, thou must prophesy again.
Yeah.
So my thing is this: if John is a prophet then 2,000 years ago, roughly, if John is a prophet now, in this time, if he still be alive, Lord willing, then he had to be a prophet from the beginning. Again, what? Ordained. We talk about Jeremiah even before he was in the womb. What I mean, did Jeremiah exist before he lived that life as Jeremiah? Yes, he did. Is Ephesians 1 and 5, whom he had foreknown, whom he also predestinated.
That
yep.
whom he had predestinated, he had also foreknew.
Right.
But then, another way to look at that Jeremiah, that precept in Jeremiah, before I formed thee in the belly, I
Knew thee, right?
I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Well, where would he have known you?
Right.
Where would he have
That's
been?
a good
Because
question.
The scripture talk about when you die, you go up to the heavens to receive the judgment for all that which you do on the earth.
Right.
We talk about Yahushua being the Lord judgeth no man, but he had committed all judgment unto his son Yahushua. So what would that be the judgment Yahushua committed unto Jeremiah? To come here on the earth and to be a prophet. So since he in the heavens, Jeremiah is a prophet.
Right. Right.
You see the elect souls crying underneath the altar, all of them is prophets.
Prophets, all of them is prophets, right?
Mm.
So, but we saying all that is to say this. If I could read, is our first Kings 18 you wanted, right?
Back to the first Kings 18 to what?
Because this all this we bringing out is to make the point what that Noah was a prophet and he is a prophet.
Had to be, because we gotta look at the context surrounding the destruction that came,
Right. Yep.
the time span, what he did, and how he was saved, and the destruction that came. If all of that happened synonymously, wouldn't he have had to have been a prophet?
Right.
The fact that he knew that the destruction was coming when it wasn't likely.
Right.
Because think about it. I like to say that. That's something that's come to my mind. It made more sense for men to not believe the destruction was coming in the time of Noah than it is now. And men still do believe.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah, because look at how much tensions in the earth, how much World War III brewing. Every day you can look up and go on your phone and you must see something concerning World War III every single day.
And they always calling it one time, and there shall be wars and rumors of wars.
But think about it, in Noah time, with Noah, because how men would that be, if you ever watch any movie with Noah, they portray men mocking Noah, saying, "Where's the rain?" I remember that one. I don't know if people know
movie,
that.
that scene in that movie.
Yes, well, where's the rain? They're laughing at Noah, they're mocking Noah, saying, "It's coming, it's coming. Where's the rain? It's coming, it's coming."
So like, just as I say, I keep making a point, but I just see that Ezekiel 12 all over again.
Where's the promise of his coming?
No, not that.
Or the
It's right, yeah.
Right, because then you have to understand scripture. Where's the rain if you know that movie? Because think about it, they never saw rain fall. There's nothing.
Up to that point, rain never fell.
So it didn't make sense to them.
Right.
But how it don't make sense to people in this time? You see tensions and wars and rumors of war brewing every day, and they still don't believe. Think about it. Because if it's the same dumb people who don't believe now, it's so that them same dumb people back then who didn't believe. So that means
the same spirits come back.
Yeah,
Like what I say,
yeah,
a
which
wicked
is-
and adulterous generation seek it after a sign, but there shall no sign be given unto them except for the sign of the prophet Jonas.
yeah, and then that will bring that up. Yeah, what shall I say?
Yeah.
The days in which you come in at the Son of Man, the days I'm leading up to the coming of the Son of Man gonna be like what?
As in the days
Days
of
of
Noah.
Noah. So
right,
if
right.
it's
if it's a prophets now talking
exactly.
about the coming of the Son of Man,
Exactly.
obviously it would have to have at least one
At least
prophet
one man.
talking about the coming of the flood. And even Elijah but they bring this out recently. He is going into he do a response to a comment. Was a boy the leave on the video talking about the giants in the earth, right? Because men, right.
I know
And he said, well, he believes that all the righteous men didn't die in the flood.
With the comment?
Yeah, no. Elijah, I bring this out. He believes that all righteous men did not die in the flood.
Well, yeah, that's true, because when they track the time of the flood,
Mhm.
and they count Adam entire lineage up until the time of Noah, all of them was dead.
Alright,
All was dead.
because we know not every single righteous man was listed, but the Lord make sure to put in key men.
Which we believe them meant to be prophets, should be spoken.
They are.
Them men,
yeah. So
I
we
believe it says that too,
Where that?
When Sirach in Praise of Famous Man.
That was there for praise famous man.
Yeah, where is that?
So try it's 47.
What's that? Let me see. Right,
44.
from 44, it says, "Now let us praise famous men and our fathers that begat us." Right, verse 2, "The Lord had wrought great glory by them."
Salakia. Just pull it up with you.
Mhm.
Yeah, go ahead.
Read it in
GNT?
the GNT. It says, "The Lord had wrought great glory by them, these famous men, through his great power from the beginning."
Salam. Right, yeah, go ahead.
Right, from the beginning, such as did bear rule in their kingdoms, men renowned for their power, giving counsel by their understanding, and what?
Declare
prophecies.
No, Salakia.
You know that when they go down, it go really see, man.
That no, because I read that was no one. Let me see which part no one name
Let me
is.
see if they give you anything else. Read verse 8. "There be of them that have left a name behind, them that their praises might be reported. So it has some of them the works was recorded. And we know this as well when you go to the book of Jude. It has some men do things but the works wasn't recorded, but they still mentioned within the book.
In Jude?
Ooh, Enoch.
Oh, right.
The Lord,
Enoch prophesied, yeah.
right,
Of the day of the Lord. Yeah.
Listen, let me get it. Jude, I will go back to this, Jude 1 and 14, it says, and Enoch also the seventh from Adam prophesied of these things, saying, behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000 of his saints to execute judgment upon all and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds which they have ungodly committed, and of all their hard speeches which ungodly sinners have spoken against them. So, but where is Enoch's word recorded? It's not recorded here. But then, when you go to Wisdom of Solomon, the 3rd chapter, what Wisdom of Solomon, the 3rd chapter, say about Enoch? So, because Enoch then had his own book, Wisdom of Solomon, the 4th chapter.
Therefore, the Lord hastened to take him away from among the wicked, verse 14.
One way to say your name, Salah. I think here is where it is showing you. Forgive me. And go to Sirach.
Sirach or Wisdom?
Wisdom of Solomon 4:10. The example of Enoch.
Right.
Right,
So Enoch set an example for the men in the earth.
But is it written when they go through Genesis they go see that? No, all it is showing in Genesis that you translated.
Right.
But continue, sir.
Because what? That's the next point to make. Because what? We could bet we bottom dollar on this through faith. I'd like to think Lot is a man prophesied. What the just Lot?
Vex
with the filthy conversation of the wicked.
Yeah.
So you telling me he vexed with these men all day, and he didn't say nothing to them about Sodom and Gomorrah going burn down, and he and Abraham is friends?
But when we done with this, we gotta go back to that Ezekiel.
The 12, right.
I was thinking at 3, but he said, when thou speakest to warn the wicked of their ungodly acts, and then they don't repent, the blood of your hands. So for all the whole city of Sodom and Gomorrah, blood to be of Lot's hands, he would have to say something.
He would have to say so, and that is how we know Noah prophesied, because for he to be accounted worthy not to die in them days, based off of that rule, he have to say something.
We're gonna get that.
Right.
Because not like the Lord gave Ezekiel that rule and everybody else had to live by some other rule. No. Jeremiah had to go there and talk. Everybody, at least if they only talk once.
Right.
The children had to go there and talk.
Right.
Yeah, how Shai went out there. Peter, all of them had to go there and say something.
Right.
Even the prophets who don't have their own book or mind had the works recorded, them talk.
Right.
And they get that in the book of the 1 Kings 18. Yeah, but let me continue here.
Maybe you gotta get our 1 Kings 18 too, right?
Because when I tie this, after this, I'll go to Ezekiel 14 and 14. It says, Wisdom of Solomon 4 and 10. He says, he pleased power and was beloved of him, so that, read it in the, say name in the,
everything.
in the GNT. Right.
Yeah, there was Wisdom of Solomon 4:10, the heading, the example of Enoch. Verse 10, once there was a man named Enoch, whom pleased power, and power loved him. While Enoch was still living among sinners, Yahweh took him away.
Why? What he do? How we please power? He went out there and preached and prophesied. Right.
So that evil and falsehood could not corrupt his mind and soul. We all know that people can be so fascinated by evil that they cannot recognize what is good even when they are looking right at it. Some people can be so corrupted with desire that they can think of nothing but what they want. This man Enoch achieved in a few years' time a perfection that other people could never attain in a complete lifetime.
So you see, tell some prophets do say less work than others. Right? Habakkuk is one, he only had 3 books or 3 chapters in the book.
Haggai, he only had 2. That the baddest one chapter in the Bible.
Yeah, so when you say complete,
or fulfill a lot in a short time.
Yeah, some could only do the whole lifetime, you do in a short time. Sometimes the Lord is only send you here to
deliver one message.
Certain understandings.
Right.
Daniel book was 12 chapters, but Jeremiah was 51 chapters. So what, Jeremiah more weight than Daniel?
They
you can't
fulfill
say
the
that
lot
you
as
fulfill.
prophets.
Whatever lot the Lord gave you to fulfill,
Right.
you had to fulfill.
That is that second is just select. These were they which fulfill the law of the Lord, and
So-
now are they crowned.
Exactly. So
Right.
your lot might be somebody else with a man go do more videos than others. So you just be
That is just how it is.
that's just how it is. The Lord gave them a certain, measure of the spirit.
Even
Right.
amongst the apostles, Apostle Paul outwork all of them.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. If I look at that, he said he was I'm the least of the apostles.
right?
So your works, doing more works than somebody else, will prove you have higher degree than them, because the apostle Paul do more work than everybody in the freaking
In the New Testament,
In the New Testament,
he write the large majority of the New
and then
Testament.
the others who have any writings within the New Testament was underneath him. So
They even reference them a lot. Peter said what
Beloved
Paul's
brother.
writings which they rest
yeah, rest which
That
they
they
were
re-
unstable,
rest.
rest with it even unto their own destruction.
instruction, right? So what wrestle as in rest as in wrestle with. They don't agree with it. That it has bothered them.
And they're not able to understand. So
Right, right.
just because you do more works than somebody else don't mean you greater than them.
Right.
Right, so this achieved that short don't mean he or the entire understanding of the scriptures. He do it in our one lifetime, and the Lord say, "Yeah, you doing way too much. Time for you to get up out of it."
It's more so he do exactly what the Lord
Right.
required of him.
And-
It is all scripture is given by inspiration of power that the man is given by inspiration of God that the man of power may be whole, complete, an entire, wanting nothing. See,
Can
from
be
the time you
furnished
reach
unto all good works.
furnish unto all good works. See, from the time you reach your quota to be able to read that Second Timothy and say, all right, you are a man of power who complete in whatever it is you had to complete.
The Apostle Paul did it. The Apostle Paul said that I have, how we say the word in.
I know that that there's a crown laid up for me.
And not just for me, all they that love him as his appearance, but he said, I've
Run a good race.
I've run a, get that one. I've
Yeah,
run
this
a
one.
good race. But Paul did more work than Enoch. If we go in according to the letter of the law, we'll be seeing Paul do more work than Enoch. But
Right.
was Paul and Enoch were both perfected.
Right.
They were both perfected. You fulfill your lot, your quota, you were perfected. And Noah did that. Although his works were written, he did it.
Right. They is it? Let's see.
The couple has done all. I think it's the same account with the I know there's a account with the for me. But
Is that? But I type it in. I don't know if I'm typing in the correct wording. This all laid up. Let me try that. Laid up crown.
Laid, no.
Oh, laid as in IAD.
Yeah.
Right. 2 Timothy 4:8.
Yes, sir. Go up.
Right.
Right.
Verse-
74.
I can read from verse 6. For I am not ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand, which is the Lord does receive them as a burnt offering when they die. Right? There's like sacrifices unto the Lord, a sweet savor. I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Henceforth, there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness with Yahweh. The righteous judge shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto all them also that love his appearance. So it's like you could watch the human kingdom as well as the animal kingdom as well. It have some animals built to do more than others, but every animal doing exactly what the Lord expect and need of them. I even believe the Apocrypha does speak about that. The bee is one of the most insignificant animals, but it does bring the most sweetest fruit.
Sweetest fruit, yeah.
So the sweetest thing in the earth is something as small and as insignificant as a bee. Just get that. And then what? It's other animals. A cow, or a lamb, or a buffalo. A buffalo could help you plow your whole land, and then you could kill him and eat him after. So what? Is it everybody and everything in the earth have a purpose, and everybody had to do the same job as the next man, but everybody doing the job. Even Esau, he fulfilling he lot and he quota and he portion as being the biggest fucking asshole in the earth. He doing exactly what the Lord want him to do. So what? He fulfilling he lot.
Could get to Ezekiel now.
Yeah.
Ezekiel 14.
Yep, they Yeah.
And then we go get the account in Genesis with Noah.
Yeah, yep.
And looking at the circumstances surrounding it and what is written in the volume of the book,
Right.
would Noah not be considered a prophet?
Yep.
That's
Ezekiel.
if you go name it that, via the volume of the book, Noah is a prophet.
Right.
Right.
Ezekiel 14:14. Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job was prophets, why is Noah among these men if he's not a prophet? Well, in it, they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness. What is the righteousness of our prophet? It's to prophesy, is one of. One of the righteousness of our prophet is to prophesy. It is
Because then you can look at the accounts. Let me minus Noah.
right.
We just take Noah out because Noah is the subject of everything. And we add them other two men. Well, where's the track record? Where's them track record? What them was known for? What them was doing?
There's
According to the
prophets.
book, the works. There's prophesying.
Right. It is yeah, shall I speak about they that who help a prophet in the name of a disciple shall receive a prophet's reward? No, to me, no other get a prophet's reward. Does he not? And well, if you believe in reincarnation, well, Noah had to be a prophet. For the men he was after he was Noah, right?
There's
They-
another aspect you have to look at it too, because that deeper understanding for the Christians.
Right.
Which them can't get. You tell a Christian, them mind blown.
Yeah.
But if then you look at the full volume of the book,
The
Noah-
full volume of the book Noah have to be a prophet because he come
Noah.
back as a prophet. 1 Corinthians 14:32.
Well,
Spirit of the prophet,
subject
subject to the prophet.
But then you look at reincarnation,
Right.
we know Noah to be Moses through the Spirit. Noah write the first 5 books. That is he works.
That is he works.
That is if he could receive that through the Spirit.
Oh, and that is not just he works, that is apartheid too,
That's
because we know
apartheid.
Moses come back again, and then
As-
after he come back again,
Yeah, right.
and then he come back again.
Right,
Come
so then
on.
to just judging men or measuring men off based off the works we could see. Yeah, like now,
It
good thing to- because
things
you
they
would
can't see.
you condemn Noah as a prophet. Noah being a prophet, not knowing he came back as a prophet. Come on.
So again, that part, you had to consider the volume of the book.
The volume of the book, you have to
Right.
consider it. Right.
They should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, saith Yahweh power. If I cause noisome beasts to pass through the land, and they spoil it so that it be desolate, that no man may pass through because of the beasts, though these 3 men were in it, as I live, saith Yahweh power, they shall deliver neither sons nor daughters, they only shall be delivered, but the land shall be desolate. If I bring a sword upon the land, and say, sword, go through the land, so that I cut off man and beast from it, and then and beasts were cut off in the flood. That why Noah had to get 2 of every animal. Everybody else and every other living thing in the planet died.
The 2 of every unclean animal and then 7 pairs of clean.
Sorry, when I said 2, I think in male and female.
Oh,
Select,
okay.
not the pairs, but in terms of you had a male cow, a female cow, a
Times
male
7.
sheep, right.
So the clean animals was times 7.
7, right.
So 2 by 7, 40. Would have 14 sheep, 7 male, 7 female. 14 bison, 7 male, 7 female. 14 sheep, 7 male, 7 female. But with the lions, would have be 1 female, 1 male.
Right. And-
Cobras, 1 female, 1 male.
Right,
etc.
and what? That is what? That because what the Lord cut off man and beast from it.
Exactly.
Though these 3
Similar
men.
account, written quite in Ezekiel, happen in the time I know.
Exactly.
Right.
Though these 3 men were in it,
Which
as I
a
said.
Christian might try to, dance the way around and say, well, no, the Lord just, like, it was symbolic. It's the same thing happened in the time I Noah, the same thing happened in the time of Ezekiel, it was symbolic. Right? Well, then if the same thing happened in the time of Noah, and the Lord used what happened in the time of Noah
To
bring it up-
reference Ezekiel.
or to bring what happened in the time of Noah, in the time of Ezekiel, via a different method, of course, because you see, he wouldn't flood the earth. Well, Ezekiel was a prophet.
So then, who's
Daniel
the
was a
prophet
prophet.
in Noah's time?
Exactly.
Who had
you,
to
you get catch anyway. Look
because
at it.
again, that is again, which we can go through it in our Genesis 6, is really an equation, isn't it? It's Yahweh plans to do evil. We know, as pursuant to that 1 Kings 22, it talks about the council, and anytime the Lord or anything done on the earth, angels gave him the ideas, which the ideas then gain, he put in the mind to gain, and then what? I go do this, and then how we going to kill these fellas. After that, he's going to tell a prophet, which we immediately saw an angel went and put what? He put a lie. Sorry, we saw the Lord put a lying spirit in all these what? Prophets. So first is the thought of the Lord to do evil, and he does evil for what purpose? Is to bring judgment, right? So the Lord time to judge. If Zephaniah 3 and 5 come to light, right? Then what? angels in the midst gonna carry out the plan. And angels being in the midst carrying out the plan, then a prophet had to tell you about the plan, Amos 3. The Lord will do nothing except reveal his secret unto his servant, the prophet. And then the prophets had to go, and the prophets to deliver about their own soul when the evil comes, is what? Tell everybody that the evil coming, and then disaster strikes.
Whether they hear or they forbear.
That had to happen in Noah time.
Otherwise-
Is something wrong with the equation
Can't get the
there?
final answer. 2 plus 2 is 4. You take out one of the two, you ain't getting 4. But
That saying Noah is not a prophet, you just remove a variable from how it is the Lord does normally operate, and not even normally, that is how he always operates. He does not deviate. I am Yahweh, I change. Yep, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. Was Noah consumed? No. Why? Because the equation was met. He prophesied of the evil to come, and it came, and he delivered, but what? His own soul. Right? Verse 19. Yeah. Verse 19. Right. Verse 19. It says, if I send an epidemic on that country in my anger, and in my anger I take many lives, killing people and animals, even if Noah, Daniel, and Job lived there, as surely as I, the sovereign Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, am the living power, they would not be able to save even their own children. Their goodness would save only their lives. So placing this equation in, right, and then backing it up, back up the equation here. Ezekiel 3:18. Okay, Ezekiel 3 and 18. Let's see if I touch it. Right. Ezekiel 3:18. If I announce, I read it in the GNT. If I announce someone evil is going to die, but you do not warn him to change his ways so that he can save his life, right? Which the Lord does always announce, the Lord don't hide, he comes. No, listen, this bitch gonna be set on fire, this bitch gonna be flood. He announces it via the prophets. Or he gives him the vision, the similitude, the understanding, the know-how of this event that is going to take place. He places it in the mind of his prophets. He doesn't do it without letting his prophets know. But you do not want him to change his ways so that he can save his life. He will die. Right? So there's some men in know going on out here. Right? If you know you don't bother to go and find out, you're going to die. But the Lord tells somebody to go and let you know what's going to happen to him if he don't tell you. Still a sinner, but I will hold you responsible for his death. So shit is defined, you tell you and you ain't tell you and he ain't change the ways, he go and dead, and let me be really going and dead. But you not exempt. Verse 19, if you do warn an evil man and he doesn't stop sinning, he will die, still a sinner, but your life will be spared. So you have to tell him. Once you tell him, he blood off your hands. So then, would all the blood of all the people around Noah be on his hands? How can Noah be considered a righteous man? We just saw in Ezekiel 14 that his life was spared. So how was his life spared if he would tell his word or if he wasn't a prophet? He's not going out there and preach if he wasn't a prophet. So how was his life spared? He had to be a prophet. So now we apply this entire equation that we just figured out, carry it back to Genesis 6. Right? Genesis 6, verse 1. No, not 1. Verse 5. Genesis 6 from 5. It says, and power saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thought of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repented me that I have made them. And you know, Christians are paying this image. Christians men think the Lord actually opening the skies or parting some clouds and shouting at the earth, hey, you're fucking up. Hey, or you're not doing that which is right in my sight. I come to destroy the earth. That's not how the Lord used to communicate. We just saw in Hosea 12 and 10 how the Lord communicates via his prophets. Hebrews 1:1, right? How did the Lord communicate to his people or anybody? If the Lord wanted to give somebody a message, it's through prophets. Power who had sundry times and in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets. So we see here, applying this equation to Genesis 6 and verse 6.
When the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, who did he say it to? How did this message reach the earth? He not parting the clouds to talk to nobody when he have people on the earth to do it. And I'm making no sense. So who would have been the person on the earth to deliver this message? It had to be Noah. Because Noah was saved.
Yeah.
And his sons might have had done it as well, because he just said in Ezekiel 14 and 14,
Shall neither deliver neither sons nor daughters.
right, so you're not gonna save your son or daughter. You're not gonna save your son or daughter via you preacher. Save yourself. So Noah's son as well had to have
Been warning of the evil
exactly.
to come.
They had to be there as well. Otherwise, why are they on the ark? Or you could have looked at it from the perspective of the Lord used them to replenish it.
Right.
Because we know for sure the Shemitic bloodline was prophesying against the future world power structure in Genesis 11 chapter, that Tower of Babel. Right? Another one you need, the spirit to see.
Right.
But continuing,
Verse 8. But
I
Noah.
mean, go ahead.
Yeah. Verse 8. But Noah found grace in the eyes of Yahweh. These are, touch not my anointed, do my prophets no harm. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with power.
Right, so it says walked with him. Going to that word just. Is it that or I was trying to, is that or devout?
Tazadayak, just, lawful, righteous in government, just right in conduct and character, righteous as justified and vindicated by power, right, correct, lawful, right? Tazadak, to be just, be righteous in conduct and character.
This was, attributed to Noah via what? The fact that he went out and did which the Lord commanded him. Go out, preach, let them know what's going on, and then build the ark to save yourself. Exactly. So the Lord Noah would have the entire earth's blood on his hand if he didn't tell nobody nothing. Which would have been easy to tell everybody at that time, because why? It was all in one landmass. Right? The earth didn't split up till after the flood.
So you over the whole, let me say, the span of the 100 years or so that I say he prophesied, he really could have prophesied to everybody at that time. But every major city, every highway, every byway, every street corner would have heard. Right? Verse 9. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with power. And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And the earth also was corrupt before power.
So the Lord saw, like, if we apply the creation, like, you sit down and see the unjust way in which the earth was operating, or the inhabitants of the earth was operating. You see that as well too. Jonah.
Nineveh.
So think about it. The Lord didn't operate in different way. Apply that Malachi 3 and 6. I, the Lord Abashim Shai. Change not, therefore the sons of Jacob are not consumed. So if he changed not his mode of operandi, his MO for how we, destroys our place, he see everybody fucking up.
So you see a reason.
Yeah, he wait for iniquities to fall. We say it like that.
Right.
He wait for iniquities to come to our fall. He repent, as you know you will not. He sends the message, right? So he then determines the earth has to be destroyed or purged or cleansed, or whatever needs to be destroyed and purged and cleansed. He determines that in the heaven. Then he sends this message via a prophet. He gives this message to a prophet. As you're going to see down here, he gave this message to Jonah, hey, go and prophesy against Nineveh. Yet 3 days, or I think it was yet 3 days, he said, and Nineveh shall be destroyed.
Yeah.
Right?
No, not as years, I think it take. Can't remember.
I'll get it quick. Jonah, the 4th chapter. Third chapter. 3 days, no? 40 days. It was a 3 days journey into Nineveh, Salakia. He said, yet 40 days and Nineveh shall be overthrown. Right? So the people of Nineveh believed power, but the people in Noah time didn't believe.
Yeah.
So the destruction had to come in Noah time. But what did Jonah do? He went and let everybody know that was fucking up.
A board of nine or so. Right.
So you see that account in Jonah there. Right? Same thing happened here. The Lord let Noah know what was going on. And Noah, you think Noah just sit down with the message and then do nothing? No, he went and let everybody know.
Right.
Go ahead. Verse 12.
Right. No, I'm still here. Verse 11, and the earth also was corrupt before power, and the earth was filled with violence, because again the men at the helm, the sons of power. When you go into that, there were giants in the earth, which dealing with the sons of God. When you go into that word giant and you go down, then it's a deeper understanding. It's like, yeah, sure, I'm bring it out in the same video I make reference to earlier. That giant really go back to bully. There was like bullies in the earth oppressing people.
See that take place in the book of 1st and 2nd Kings.
I wasn't even where I was going. Remember, Micah 2? Which is against his family. Yeah, you can take them by force. We know that scripture too, fully in sense was applied to the rich man in elite today. But back in Micah time, that I actually be speaking about the rich Israelites who was oppressing the poor Israelites, and we see that play out in Yahushua time too. The Pharisees and the Sadducees and all them different sects, them was bullying the nation of Israel through the law.
Yeah, you see the Lord often prophesied against his own people, as he said in Hebrews 1:1, spoken to our fathers
by the servants, the prophets, right? And what Isaiah 59, is it 59? And I believe is you see,
5 as well.
Yeah, Isaiah 59:15. Yeah, truth faileth, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. Noah, Lot, Abraham, all these men.
I see Jeremiah was put in jail by his own people.
Right, so what they'll prey upon you when they see when they see you don't.
John,
when you don't get down to the evil, and you follow not a multitude to do evil, Satan will come for you like a roaring lion, right?
And you could come back, which is Satan just means adversary.
Right, so any spirit could jump on any group of people and make them persecute you at any given time.
And
right?
most of the time was we own people. Yahushua said, "Oh Jerusalem, Jerusalem,
thou that killest the prophets."
So now I was speaking against his own people. Don't feel me most. I'm now speaking against his own people. When I read Ezekiel 3:17, he made them a watchman to the house of Israel.
Yeah.
Therefore, hear the word of my mouth and get them warning from me. So his own people was coming against him.
Right.
The sons of God. Because I see Genesis 6:1 open upon.
Yeah.
The sons of
them
God,
same bullies, them giants, right?
Right.
And Yahweh saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment, and he saw that there was no man, and wondered that there was no intercessor. Therefore his arm brought salvation unto him, and his righteousness it sustained him. So we see in what the Lord will see evil happen in the earth, and what he will bring judgment. That is how the Lord does operate. When he heard the cries of the Israelites in Egypt, and what? Then he remembered his covenant and then started take action. But what? Even before he took action, we do. And he sent Moses, the prophet, to talk and let them know the judgment was coming. And then after Pharaoh did not hearken unto the coming judgment from the voice side, then he see it play off. When did the Lord ever operate differently?
He operates just in the same Torah, the same first 5 books. He operates in the same Torah. He was operating a different way with Noah and then change it up.
With Moses and then,
working.
Right, and then he went after the Old Testament, he get fed up and then he sent his son and come now man, it's the same power we dealing with. It's the same power. Right? And the earth was full of violence, and power looked upon the earth, and behold it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And power said unto Noah, so there is it right here.
So then the communication with the prophet.
Right, because what? He will do nothing except what he revealed his secret unto his servant, the prophet. He's going to tell Noah something we never tell nobody else on the earth. I am going to flood this place. So what he told the prophet, he then go through and tell the whole nation. He told one man. He just dealt with him, or as we're going to read in this verse 13, he's going to deal with him what? In the manner of how he deals with his prophets. How is Noah not a prophet? And power said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. So the evil in the city that the Lord is going to do, make thee an ark of gopher wood. Room
Yeah, I reckon for to prove now the length of time Noah on the earth, he would have had to be prophesied.
to that. Yeah.
Because read verse 17.
Verse 17, and behold, I do bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die.
Right.
But I will establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons, and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee, and of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, to keep them alive with thee, and they shall be male and female. Verse 22.
21.
And take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them all.
Right.
Thus did Noah according to all that power had commanded him, so did he.
So you see, the Most High gave Noah the blueprint to save himself.
Right.
Right? You let him know, your salvation assured. But how was Daniel's salvation assured? How was Job's salvation assured? How was Ezekiel and all of these men's salvation assured? They prophesied, they did what the Lord commanded them.
Right.
So now, you got to prove the time span now to prove that Noah would have had to be prophesied.
Right.
Which it tells you the year 600. Right. Genesis 7 and 6.
Genesis 7 and 6, and Noah was 600 years old when the flood of the waters was upon the earth.
Right. So when I go to Genesis 5 towards the end,
Right. Genesis 5 towards the end, and all the and verse 32. Verse 30, and Lamech lived after he begat Noah 595 years, and begat sons and daughters, and all the days of Lamech's life was 777 years, and he died, and Noah was 500 years old, and Noah begat Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So he was 500 years old when he begat them.
right. So he was 500 years old when he begat them.
Right.
Then, that same period, right, in that same period, the message came from the Lord to Noah.
Yeah.
And then when the flood came upon the earth,
He was 600 years old.
600 years old. So we believe Noah's ministry to be around 100 years.
Yeah.
That period of time between the year 500, Noah was 500, to the year,
The year the flood came, which year 600.
right, that Noah would have had to be prophesied.
Right, so you'd have been
Why would it
prophesying,
take-
building, gathering, everything that the Lord commanded him to do.
So come on.
Right, so even though it's not listed, through faith, through hope, through belief,
As we're going to call this video, volume of the book.
right, through the
Noah
volume
was a
of the
prophet.
book, we believe that one of the commandments the Lord would have told Noah is to tell these people, I'm going to flood the earth.
Right.
And
So-
thus he fulfilled his stead as a prophet. He prophesied about the flood of the earth before it came.
So, Lord will, this video was edifying, and that you were edified. In closing, let's say,
Sekal halal yamna Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Ruach HaKodesh.
double honors unto the apostles and elders of great millstone who do rule well. As always, say shalom to the elect.
Shalom to you.
Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
Okay.